Hello there, this is Mr. U.S. History. And in 1992, we saw President George H.W. Bush getting defeated by the governor from Arkansas, Bill Clinton. And many people say that Bush's loss was attributed to the fact that we had an independent running named Ross Perot. Ross Perot, many people say, was able to snatch away many of the conservative voters who were upset with Bush. Now, is this true or not? Well, it's partly true. Well, yes, Ross Perot was able to take away many conservatives who were upset with Bush's tax increases. Perot was mostly appealing to young voters who were just kind of dissatisfied with the two-party system more than anything. And some of these young voters would probably have voted for Clinton. So I'd say that roughly 60% of Perot voters would have voted for Bush. Not all of them. Like maybe, or actually maybe like 55%, because many of these young voters, I think, would have more so voted for Clinton than Bush. So let's get started on a hypothetical election without Ross Perot. Ross Perot himself even dropped out of the race at one point, and let's just say if he hadn't come back later on, what would have happened? So, and would Bush have won the presidency, or would Clinton have still won? If you want to see, keep watching. So, in 1992, we saw a map that favored Clinton heavily. So, let's go back to 1988, and Bush won in a landslide. So, like always, when it comes to elections, I'm going to start with the South. So, in the state of Texas first, Bush's home state, Bush was able to win Texas by 13 points in 1988, and in 1992, that lead collapsed to just 4 points. And mostly this was because of Perot's strength in Texas. Perot himself was from Texas, and Bush wasn't exactly the most popular there. But without Perot, I'm pretty sure that Bush would still would take those conservative voters and win by like 7 to 8 points. And then you've got the state of Louisiana, which Clinton won by just 5 points. Oh yeah, Arkansas is also solid for Clinton, no doubt about that. But Louisiana voted for Clinton by by roughly 5 points, and though Perot was pretty weak in that state, if you compare him to the rest of the states, he had just around 12% of the vote, but Bush still only narrowly lagged behind Clinton in that state. So I'm pretty sure without Perot, it would have been a narrow victory for Bush, because 4 years ago it went to Bush by 10 points. I don't think that 10-point win is gonna just evaporate in 4 years. And then you've got the states of Mississippi and Alabama. I'm pretty sure both I'm pretty sure Mississippi is safe, while Alabama is likely for Bush, because you saw both states back in 1988 go to Bush by around 20 points. So I'm pretty sure it won't be 20 points, but it'll be maybe from 10 to 16. And then Georgia just went for Clinton by less than 1%. Pretty sure Bush would win that. Florida, Bush won. I'm pretty sure it'll go by likely margin. In the state of South Carolina, another state which I think Bush will win. As in the state of Tennessee, I think Bush will win that narrowly by probably a lean margin. A vast underperformance from 1988, but still a win is a win. And the state of North Carolina, yeah, Bush would win that state. And the state of North Carolina, I think that ultimately, yeah, Bush would win by perhaps even a likely margin, but actually, yeah, I'll put it in the likely. State of Virginia, that's likely. Bush himself won that in this election by a lean. I'm pretty sure he'll be able to do that. And Kentucky is a lean margin. West Virginia, likely for Clinton. And pretty sure it's the same thing with these states up here. West Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware. Actually, Delaware I'll put in the lean column. As for the state of Pennsylvania, Clinton would carry that by a lean margin. In fact, Dukakis, only narrowly lost it back in 1988, while the rest of the country was going to Bush by over 7 points on average. So I'm pretty sure that Pennsylvania would flip. Same with the state, and New York would probably go for Clinton by 14 points. New Jersey would hold for Bush, I think, by a narrow margin. And this entire northwestern region, I'm pretty sure, will go to Bush. To Clinton. The state of Maine will go by a lean margin, while Massachusetts and Connecticut will go both. Massachusetts will go by likely margin. Connecticut, I'm pretty sure, will also go by a likely margin. Because you have to notice that Perot also took away many independent voters who leaned slightly to the left than previously, than they did to the right. Perot also took away many left-leaning voters from Clinton as much as he did right-leaning voters from Bush. And Rhode Island is safe. So is Vermont. Actually, Vermont I'll put in the likely column. Well, as for the state of New Hampshire, I think that's a state that'll go to Bush by narrowly. And yeah, Maine's 1st congressional district goes to Bush, while this one goes to Clinton. Alright, now we're done with that region. Let's go to the Midwest. The state of Ohio. That one, Clinton won by just 1 point, or 2 points. I'm pretty sure Bush would win there. The state of Indiana, Bush would win. Illinois, Clinton will win. And then we go to the state of Michigan, the states of Michigan and Minnesota. Well, if you go back to 1988, these 3 states went to Dukakis. I'm pretty sure they'll go to Clinton. Yeah. State of Wisconsin just went narrowly. I think will go by likely margin, and Michigan will go by a lead margin. As the state of Missouri, yeah, that'll go by a lead margin also. Alright, now we move on to the, now we go to these states, the red wall, Oklahoma, all of these states I expect to go red. I think North Dakota will be safe, and Kansas also will probably be safe, while South Dakota will be likely. Let's see. Or actually, no, never mind, Kansas will be there. Yeah, ultimately, I think that Bush would just, and then we go to the state of Montana, and Clinton was able to win Montana, but then again, you had Ross Perot getting, like, nearly 27%, so I'm pretty sure Clinton would, Bush would win Montana. Idaho is safe. Wyoming is actually in the likely margin, and Utah is safe. Arizona is in the likely margin. As for the states of Colorado and New Mexico, I am pretty sure that New Mexico is likely still, because 4 years ago, Bush just won that very narrowly. Now I'm pretty sure he will do just as bad. I mean, he'll do even worse, I think, especially with the economic recession, because you have to remember that each state is different. I mean, for example, in the South and in the Northwest, many conservatives were the ones who broke for Perot, but in many of these Midwestern states and Northeastern states, it was mostly liberals who broke and voted for Perot rather than Bush. Oh yeah, DC is safe also. So now we go to the state of Colorado. Colorado, I'm pretty certain, will go to Bush by a lean margin. And then you have the states of California, Oregon, and Washington. All 3 of these states go for Bush, or go for Clinton. So now, we have Clinton already at 269 electoral votes. Just 1 more and he wins the presidency. And so what I think will happen is, I think Bush would have won Nevada narrowly, and the state of Alaska by a likely margin. Hawaii, you think it'll go to Bush? No, it will not. So therefore, Bill Clinton would have still won the presidency, though ultimately by a much narrower margin. As you can see, he is, if you compare this to 1988, a lot of states, I'm mostly using 1988 for data here, and I think ultimately the main reason why Bush loses is because the idea that Perot took away conservative voters from Bush and that's why he lost is false. Perot took away voters who were dissatisfied with the 2-party system and were upset with the current economic conditions. Yes, he took away some conservative voters, but he also took away liberal voters from Clinton. Therefore, I can say that Bill Clinton will win the presidency, although narrowly, mostly because of his strength in these in the Midwestern states over here and the coasts also. Though it's a lot narrower than what he actually won them by. So, therefore, I can say that Bill Clinton will win the presidency in 1992. Also, the economic conditions don't exactly help Bush either. So, anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you like this video and subscribe. And bye.